How is everyone doing this beautiful Wednesday morning? Hope you're doing well. It is the middle of the week, hump day, my Friday. I am officially off for 2 days now. So it's real easy for me to say that I'm going to conquer the rest of the week, because the rest of the week consists of me doing nothing. Got the SOCOM today and definitely whipping it up for Wednesday. That's awesome. Good morning, Mr. B. Shady, Miss Brown Sugar, Mr. Gonzo Wick, Mr. Cliff Brott, hope y'all are doing well. I was trying to read the chat. I feel stupid when I stop talking, trying to read chat, but I got to try to keep up. Good morning, Mr. Tristan. Hope you're doing well, sir. So I tried to get that guy that developed that software we looked at for keeping inventory of your knives. Tried to get him to come on stream and talk to us and tell him about the product. And come to find out, he doesn't speak English. He's from Ukraine. And he's trying to learn English. And he said when he does learn English, maybe he'll come on and talk about it. I told him we would talk about it regardless. Good morning, Mr. Michael. So, what did I carry in my pockets last night? Make sure I got the camera right. Well, I carried one I got in the mail yesterday, which is a QK. And this knife is very interesting. I think this ticks a lot of boxes that I want to discuss here shortly. But it has got M390 blade steel, a very slight I don't know. I think it's a flat grind, honestly. I want to say it's a hollow grind, but it might just be at the very bottom. I guess it's a flat grind. I need to take a ruler. It might be just a little bit hollow. Super cool blade, though. Nice satin lines on the blade. Damascus bolster. Nice clip. But yeah, I want to discuss this knife here shortly. Oh, I think I missed Wicked Dream Designs, but I said hello to him when he came in. Yeah, good morning, WDD. Good morning, Mr. Pete. Morning, Ill Knives. And then in my back pocket, I carried a good back pocket knife, which is this super thin FM1 cold steel. I'm trying to like this knife more and appreciate it for what it is. It's a good, just knifey knife shaped knife. I don't actually hate this knife. It serves a good purpose. It's very thin, though. In fact, it's thinner than the Atom. I do believe. But I did not carry the Atom last night. And I did not carry the Sage last night. I carried these two. So I retired the Atom and the Sage 5 already. Haven't really retired them, but now, the thing I want to discuss about this knife, there's a lot of points I want to talk about on this knife. So this has been promoted and advertised. Good morning, Waylon. As a clone of the Brian Brown Knives Raptor 3, version 3, which is an integral. But in reality, it's changed just enough of it that it's not a clone of that knife, although it is very similar. This is a Brian Brown Knives Raptor version 1. The version 3 is what this is supposed to be modeled after. Is an integral, and it's a little bigger, but they've made it a little bigger in the handle, in the width, and in the clip. And then they have not they've not put any branding on it whatsoever. So the original doesn't have any branding, luckily. And when I was talking about that I didn't think this was a good value for $170, I said that you could get a real one for $100 more. Well, actually, you can get a real one for around $200, so only $30 more. So what you got here is you got a Riot made knife that you can get for $200, and you have a new brand with probably properly heat treated M390, real M390 blade steel from Bowler, China. And what I'm getting at is the OE, but this knife has absolutely perfect action, perfect detent. It's got good acoustics, but it just drops perfectly. The acoustics are good on it. Drops perfectly, hydraulic, and super good action. The centering was off a little bit. It's still off a little bit towards the clip side. So I had to take out this this washer. This washer is only 0.5 millimeters thick. And when I originally got it, the blade was way off center towards the clip. But I put a 0.1 millimeter washer in here to help center the blade. That's the only thing I've done to it. It came with this washer. I put a wider washer. I'll show you a picture of how bad the centering was off before. But what I'm getting at here is for $170, real M390 blade steel, a great design, a tried and true design. They don't talk about it. They just came out with it as one of their knives. They didn't call it the Raptor. They didn't hint to the fact that it was a Raptor. All they did was release this knife from the QK company. They marked the correct blade steel. They had some pretty versions, but they're not marketing this knife as a Brian Brown Knives Raptor clone. It's $170. You get this high quality of a knife, so it's probably priced about right. But if all the clones started coming out like this, to where they were just, it's more of a homage knife, homage, than an exact copy, but it really kind of is an exact copy. But anybody that buys this knife can be proud of this knife and post this knife and say this is a QK knife, and hopefully won't catch a bunch of hate from the haters talking about the fact that it's a Brian Brown Knives clone. And so that kind of solves the problem for everybody who doesn't like clone knives but want to try out one of these knives from China. And if I could suggest one for somebody to try out for $170 from China, this is a great example. The quality feels better than Tucson and pretty close to Bestech, but not as good as Riot. So I think it's priced fairly. Anyway, that's my that's me at the pulpit this morning. That was my preaching. Let's see. And yeah, this is a real Raptor, and everybody that sees this knife likes these speed holes. I like the finish on it. I love the finish on this, and I wish it was like this on both sides, but I don't mind these speed holes. Next, you see I've got a Band-Aid on my finger, and right after the stream yesterday, I figured out what stabbed me, and it was the tip of the Kiradashi that I had in my backpack. So that's what bit me yesterday on stream. I stabbed myself with that. And I would like to officially report that I have got it perfectly flat and a nice satin finish on it. And it is ready to heat treat tomorrow. So we're going to be heat treating at least this one tomorrow. Hopefully I might finish up the other one today. But I've got this one ready to go. This is perfectly flat. I've run it back and forth on a sharpening stone so many times, it's sad. I probably spent 4 hours flattening out the face of this. And then I've also hit this. I'm going to hit this a little bit more today to finish up a couple of little spots and get it all flat and even. And then I think I'm going to drill a lanyard hole in this, because whether I decide to taper it down a little bit and put a handle on it or leave it like this, I think I still want a lanyard hole back here. And then I'll make some kind of little leather sheath for it to go in. But yes, we're gonna heat treat and quench this tomorrow. So that'll be cool. I did take the point down to where now I can sharpen it, not worrying about it being too thin and the heat treat making it curl or snap. So I went ahead and took the point off of it. It's still got a decent point, but I can sharpen the edge on it now and get a good point. So yeah, that's what stabbed me yesterday. Let's see. Probably made in the same place. Great Eastern Cutlery slip joints. What are those? Great Eastern Cutlery slip joints. That'll be the first link we look at, I guess. Little Indian Girl. Crown Lifter. Fish Knife. And the Babylon Hill Special. There was a link at Blade HQ. I had a few of them. Oh, Remington. What? They make a Remington branded one? A Geppetto Whittler Easter egg blew my Carta. Huh. Working and lurking, huh? Yeah, Ill Knives. I've kind of picked up on that. That you're not hip to the clone game, which is fine. I would, I don't expect everybody to know about clones, but I also expect somebody to be able to go on a Chinese site like AliExpress and buy this knife because they like the looks of it and not fear being, chastised and outcast from the knife community because they got a clone. Oh no. They bought a clone. Because if you just buy this knife, or if your aunt ordered you this knife, or if your dad ordered you this knife, nobody involved would know it was a clone. Now, Brian Brown, when he looks at it, he might not think it's a clone. But like I said, they changed just enough of it. They made it a little wider and a little longer. The flats on it aren't exactly the same. It actually shows the shadows of the flats really good right there. You can see the flats, are wider and longer on the real one. I don't like how the camera looks. I don't know why it gets dark sometimes. I have to brighten it up and then put it back. Alright, see, now I'm right back to exactly where I was, but it looks way brighter. Alright. What else is going on in the chat? What are y'all carrying today? Michael. I thought that was a Mr. statement. 30 states have a foodborne parasite outbreak? No. Did not hear that one yet. Good morning, Mick Ranger. But I think this is the perfect knife for people to buy and post all over Instagram because they're proud of it and enjoy the heck out of it and say, man, I got an awesome new knife. instead of people talking about it being a clone of the Raptor. Has no kind of branding. Definitely didn't come with a box. Came with this nice pouch here. That's all it came in. Yeah, I think I might have bought one knife from Blade HQ. There's something about their shipping costs that get to me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I don't buy things from them. I'm wearing my date just today with the motif face on it. I love that pattern on that face. It catches the light awesome. The green really pops when it hits that right color. I've had more people ask me about this watch than any other watch that I wear. What, Michael, what kind of food is it supposedly in? Yeah, is it a diarrhea virus? No, I'm just joking. I know it's serious. Mister said that, not me. I posted these codes if anybody wants one. I'll flash them on the screen real quick. Let me turn the chat box off. So y'all can take a screenshot of that if you want some. Save some money on AliExpress. They were saying produce? Well, I ain't got to worry about that then. Hey Tristan, I think you're about 5 minutes behind. Good morning, William. If I didn't say good morning to you, all right. Yeah, whenever you're watching the live and you want to make sure you're talking about what I'm showing on screen within like 30 seconds, sometimes YouTube, after an ad, especially if it plays you an ad or something, you won't be live. So you got to make sure this light is on. Most of the time that works. But the best way is to just grab this little slider and make sure you slide it all the way to the right. Grab it, slide it all the way to the right, and you'll be live. Anyway. Not very much, Michael. I eat some, a little bit, very little. I've got some really cool links to look at today. But I want to start. So you remember how Remember how on AliExpress, when we were looking at some of those newer blades, he left the he left the little tips on the end of the dang it, I can't type and talk. When he showed the blades, I'm not making any sense. Hold on. Putty Go Reddit. I can show you better than tell you. When he posts the blades right here, and they got them heat treated and cryoed, and they got them finished, they had little points on the end of them. Before they do the sharpening. And he left them on there, I think. There they are. So I think he left them on there kind of for the same reason, so when you sharpen the edge, you can get a really good sharp point at the end. Because all of his that I've got, including that one that B Shady has got, has a very sharp point on it. But seeing these right here is something we've seen before, and I ran across that last night from another OEM, and I've not seen it on any other OEMs. So I might have just figured out who does some OEM work for this same guy right here. And I've got a link to that post, and it's a company that usually doesn't show behind the scenes, but they are with this one. But check out those blades and how they have the same little point on it. And of course, after seeing this post, you know me, I had to ask the only question that matters here. Since we're talking about Bestech, and everybody's always so up in arms that Bestech is not an OEM. They outsource all their work and they find the vendors and blah, blah, blah. So my question here was, how much of the actual work do you do at Bestech Knives, and how much do you outsource to other places? And I have gotten no response yet. But I know that by now, unless they've been over to China and seen the Bestech facility, I don't think they can say that they don't OEM anything. Because they're big enough by now that they could have bought some nice equipment and be making some of the knives that they call their own. Maybe most of the ones they OEM for people in America are outsourced. But if you go to the About Us, or you scroll all the way to the bottom, they say that they have an in-house design team, professional designers, and it says our team meticulously operate and maintain state-of-the-art CNC grinding machines, CNC carving machines, stamping machines, wire cutting machines, laser cutting machines, anodizing, coating machines, and sand belt machines. So they're trying to portray, I don't know if that's in-house. I've never been over there, so I can't say 100% for sure that they didn't buy some equipment and make the taipan blades. I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, maybe they do enough of their own stuff that when people from the U.S. want them to make knives for them, they outsource it to other vendors. But I hope I get an answer to my question. I doubt I will, but I ask it. And all kinds of people are so positive about what Best Tech does, and they don't make any knives. They use other vendors. All they are is a middleman. And I want to go over there. I've asked them, I've sent emails trying to get pictures of their facility or behind the scenes video, and finally they posted a behind the scenes. Anyway, maybe they got all the blades cut out and sent to them, and they did some flattening of them. I don't know. Maybe they did one little tiny part of it. I don't claim to know because I don't know. I've heard that they're just a middleman. But I've also read that they say they've got all kinds of machines, and I don't know why they wouldn't by now, being as successful as they've been. But I thought it was super funny that they had the same little nipples on the end. Alright, let's go through the links I had for today. Till y'all bring up something you want to talk about. I keep seeing more and more crazy, beautiful knives daily. And since we ended yesterday's video talking about Tontos, I thought it would only be fitting to show this one this morning as the first video. Although I've already gone over the the Best Tech one. Pretty good looking Tonto. Pretty sure I can't afford it though. Like I always say, it doesn't mean a man can't dream. Alright, second link I had a question for Sever 7, because when I see this knife, this is a perfect example of what I think Sever 7 would like, except that it's not made out of zircotai or Damascus, but the shape wise, this guy's knives look like a perfect, maybe he doesn't like the clips. I don't know, but that looks like a Sever 7 knife to me. I don't know why he's never had one. But it's from Sean O'Connell. And he makes a lot of those knives that look like that shape. He makes a lot of cool knives regardless. But I wondered why Sever didn't like, because that looks like his style knife. Well, speak of the devil, I talked him up this morning. Good morning, Mr. Bob, Mr. Sever. Why don't you have a Sean O'Connell knife? Is it the clip? The clip looks very girthy. He's either compensating for something or not compensating for something. Alright, this was the next one I had. Maybe he'll answer me here in a minute. And this is a Danny Yard RIP Knives Russo Mini. And this is one I've not heard of. And Recon 1 seems to have a bunch of nice knives. Every time I find a nice knife, some version of it will be on Recon 1. I like the forward choil on this one though, and it looks very comfortable. But I like this plain Jane one better. It looks great closed. And that hollow grind, that whole grind is pretty sick. But I have not seen that knife before. And I love it. Yeah, Michael, I would say that clip is one of his signature parts because all the knives seem to have the same clip. Yeah, Recon 1 is way higher, in my opinion, way higher than Urban EDC, though. Oh, you said Urban Cutlery. Yeah, not Urban EDC. But Recon 1 has some crazy knives. Yeah, the real Loxa would be up there too. But somehow you run across knives like this. You've got the Unkovskis. I don't know how much his knives cost. I wouldn't imagine they're much more than a Unkovsky. Some of those milling patterns are sick, though. I love seeing different stuff on milling. And that's what kind of caught my eye with his. Because when he anodizes and does when he sands the flats, it really changes the look of his knives. That's what he did here. He sanded the flats and anoded them a different color. I think blue is actually the flats and the lines are the other color. But that pattern really sticks out, shows as a different kind of pattern when he does that two-tone ano. Alright, next I had this one. Another from Stash Joe. And this thing is absolutely phenomenal gorgeous. Not only does he have crazy leatherwork skills, and I figured out why he always flips the dangle, because it's got work on it too, and he wants to show all his nice leatherwork. He's proud of his leatherwork, and he should be, but check out this blade. I mean, my goodness. That thing looks fit for a king. It's got a hollow ground blade all the way down. Crazy inlay. Gold. I bet it's 24 karat. Like, I bet it's something. But man, that thing is gorgeous. That blade is absolutely sick. And that finger guard, it's got a perfect curve right there on that finger guard. Man, what a beautiful knife. Y'all gotta agree with me on that one. You talking about the Arcane Crypt? You going to the beach today, Mr. Bob? Alright, I've shown that knife on screen long enough now. And I had a wow after this one. Oh, it was about the finger. This was the ultimate finger choil. And I was like, my God. What kind of grip? You could, I mean, that's almost like having a third finger between your fingers. It's like having a weapon, like a single brass nut. A single ribbed brass nut. Well, man, you talk about a finger choil. That is finger choil supreme. And this is a Russian maker again. He knows how good it feels. You can see the muscles in his hand tighten up. Like, look how strong he's gripping this thing. He's like, ah. Can you feel it? I can feel it, dude. That is a choil supreme. That's why I said wow on that one. That one made me laugh. This was pretty cool, and hearing that, but this is like, if I was going to make a knife, this is how I would have to make a knife. I would have to mechanically get everything functioning with knife-shaped pieces. Get all my stop pins, my body screws, my pivot. I would have to do it in this kind of shape and then hand work everything after that. And that's kind of what this guy does. And he doesn't have the lock bar engaged yet, because you can see he just drops it. But the liner lock, you can see right there, he's got the lock bar cut. I mean the frame lock, sorry. But he doesn't have it, doesn't have the blade cut down yet. But yeah, that's how you could do a folding knife if you wanted to try your own. At some point I will get around to trying one. And I hope mine looks a little better than that at that stage. I don't really like the look of that knife completely, but I did want to highlight it. This knife reminds me of something. I want to talk about knife terms and weird things that people do in this hobby. Like, we were talking about blade shapes yesterday, and whether you want to call it a reverse Tonto or a Warncliffe, there's all kinds of different, people call different blade shapes. You know, that's a real common thing. But what's not common is people came up with a term called bolster lock that I don't think is very fitting. And a lot of times it's really a frame lock, but they call it a bolster lock. And a lot of people would call this one a bolster lock because it's got a bolster. And the over travel stop is the bolster. But this is not a bolster lock knife. And I get mad sometimes at this hobby for how people are set in their ways and have to be right about, you know, everything. But this is a frame lock knife. It happens to have a bolster. But guess what? I can pop that bolster off I can put this pivot screw back in. And this knife is a frame lock knife. It's not a bolster lock. It's a frame lock. I tightened the pivot a little too tight. But yeah, it's a frame lock. So, you know, you can call it whatever you want to. If you want to call it a bolster lock, that's fine with me. But don't be so locked in your views that you think your answer is the only answer. Because a lot of the times you'll end up being wrong. I think people need to be way more open to all kinds of answers, and that just one conclusive, I'm right, you're wrong attitude permeates this hobby a little bit. And that bolster lock topic is one of the ones, you know, there's no point in arguing over it. It's a bolster lock, whatever. I think it's a frame lock with a bolster. And I'm not sure what would make a knife a true bolster lock unless something about the bolster area is involved in the lockup of the knife. Something would have to be essential that you couldn't just take off a little exterior piece that's making it pretty. Something functional that interfaces with the lock. Then it would be a bolster lock, in my opinion. But yeah, I think a lot of knife people get stuck on, they're right, you're wrong. There's only one answer. Yeah, Pete just said the exact same thing I did. The bolster would have to be a part of the lock mechanism to me. By the way, Sever, if you just saw that, I took off that, and you can tighten the pivot, at least on one side, and get the knife to work, but it still looks ugly, and you won't have an over travel stop. Yeah, I wanted to show, I was going to show the comparison pictures. There was something I wanted to show. I didn't turn my phone off. That's my ringtone. Potential spam. All right, let me turn my phone volume down. Good grief. Oh, there's a Bluetooth headset hooked up, so it thought it was still on. Yeah, and I've tried to explain to people too, like, you know, the compression lock interfaces with the top of the blade, whereas a liner lock interfaces with the back of the blade. So on a compression lock knife, this lock actually interfaces with the top of the blade up here, what I call the top of the blade, and a liner lock knife interfaces with the back of the blade. So if it's a button actuated liner lock, that means it's got a liner that hits the back of the blade just like a frame lock would. And compression locks come around and hit on the top like the triad lock and like a crossbar lock and like a plunge lock. Morning, TC. But I I don't know. I like the fact that I learn things and I don't mind being wrong, and I don't mind learning something new or a different way to do something. And that's what I love about this hobby. And I hate the little clickiness and the, you know, being ostracized for liking certain knives and this uppity attitude. I don't like that about the hobby. But I can deal with that because 90% of the people in this hobby are great, outstanding, mature, adult males that I probably wouldn't mind drinking a beer with and shooting a game of pool with. But there's only that other 10% ruins it for everybody. But there's way more people in this hobby than any other hobby I've been in that are great people. So anyway, I can't remember. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I did the, I shot the breakdown picture for the, hold on. I always put it, I guess I'll put it in the modding channel. I'll keep all the breakdown picture always in the modding channel, because if you kind of need to mod, or if you need to put your knife back together, that's kind of like modding it. But it didn't even come with good bearings, and it's got perfect action. But you can see it has no over travel stop, and one of the only problems with this knife is the lock bar is very flimsy. It wants to go back out and straighten up. So if you take it apart and you push on it at all that way, it instantly bends back straight and messes up your detent and all kinds of stuff. But at the same time, you can bend it back that way and it fights you, and it doesn't move very much, and you can adjust the detent to where it's perfect. So as far as tuning it, it's super easy. It's one of the easiest knives I've ever had to tune and give it perfect action. Where the heck is my other screwdriver? What the heck? My T8 that's just always here is right here. But like I said, it also was off. Oh, that's what I wanted to show, was the off-centered. And I love the construction of this. It's just got one screw that goes through the clip and goes into the other side, and it kind of keeps that integral look because there's no screws on this side at all. That's the over travel stop though, and it falls off instantly. But like I said, I had to take, and I don't have any stainless steel ones, so I had to use a copper one. But the original washer that came with it was this one right here, that's 0.5 millimeters thick. And when you put this in the knife, and you go to reassemble it, hold on just a second. It makes it way off center towards the clip, which is no good. And to me, that means they didn't get the sides parallel perfectly, like I've said, from the front to the back of the knife. They didn't get it perfectly parallel, but when you put this original washer back in, I'll show you what it does to the blade. I love the just 2 screw method though. It's got 2 pins, 2 locating pins in the backspacer that hold it in place. So it goes back together super easy. But check out how far off center it is towards the clip. So that's how it came when I got it. And I looked around and I did have some, these are 6mm pivots. So I didn't have any washers that were 1mm thick, 6mm. So the centering is the only thing, and it's not bad, but it is going towards the clip side. So luckily I had some extra sets of washers that I could swap out and get it better. And since you can dial the action of this thing in so good, it really doesn't matter about this bearing being 0.5 thicker on this side. Because like I said, you can, and it goes right back together. It does have a D-shaped pivot, but man, it goes right back together quick. One of the easiest knives to work on, period. I did post the skiff size. It's the 6mm that are 1.2. I think it's the 17 ball 6mm ones that will fit in this knife. All right. Now the centering is right there. Because I added 0.5mm of a washer on this side. And I'm keeping this original washer in a labeled bag that says Raptor 9.8 by 6 by 0.05. All right, y'all got anything you want to look at, or I'll go back to my links if y'all don't. Oh, we got to talk about one that drops today. And Pete, you were about to try to let us slide by without mentioning it. And I'm pretty sure you know what knife drops today. Although it may be one that you don't think you have enough money for, maybe? But it is, let's see here. It is Plunkett Tools. So these dropped today. And that's a heck of an awesome knife. I'm pretty sure Mr. John Tagamori already has one. But I want one bad. Mr. Bob, I don't know which lady on YouTube you're talking about. I've seen a couple of the watch ladies on YouTube. You'll have to give me a little more info than that. I'm not sure if I've seen her or not. I watch quite a few watch videos. I don't know how to buy these. So I just typed in Plunkett. I don't know where to go to buy them. Does he have a Facebook page? Like Plunkett Blade Works, Plunkett Tools. I don't know where to buy them. Do you know where to buy them? Yeah, I sent him a message, Sever. But he said they're all dropping today, so how do you know when they drop or when you can buy them? I guess you have to keep in contact with him. Not sure about that. And I lost my link. But he just says in this video yesterday, last two lefties being finished up, all knives will drop tomorrow. That's all he says. So I don't know how you know. It confuses me. Oh, she does lives? I haven't seen her, I don't think. Yeah, Pete was going to let us miss out on that. And the reason I know is because he commented on or he liked the video. I don't know. Maybe he didn't like it. Sever liked it. TC liked it. Who is this? Big Mark liked it. Shout out Big Mark. Okay, maybe Pete wasn't in on this one. Maybe this one's not Pete's fault. Sorry, Pete. Blamed you for missing out on a knife. Alright. Think this is where we left off. I just wanted to say one thing. If you don't think you would enjoy this right here, don't ever start working on knives, making knives or knife blades. Because this will occupy all of your free time. And that's sanding. I had no idea before starting to mess around making knives. That there was so much sanding involved. But my goodness. But I love the jig he set up to work on his blades. Once you start working on blades, you'll realize how nice that jig is. I was standing doing that for about at least 2 hours last night. Except I was doing the opposite. Here's what I did. I had this little diamond, hold on just a second. Y'all can't see. Where are we? I had this diamond sharpening pad stone thing that's got a rubber back. And then I had this piece of 60 grit 3M real paper. And I laid it across this diamond stone because the diamond stone is good and flat. And then I just took this and I sat here like this and stood up to put pressure and did this for at least 2 hours last night. And that way, and I could adjust my finger pressure on each side of it to adjust whether I'm sanding on one side or the other. But I know that the surface that I'm working on is going to be completely flat after that. So as you can see, I got this one done completely good. And then I started moving up to this one. And here at the end, I've still got a little bit of file that shows through. And I got to even this one up just a little bit flatter. But yeah, sanding is something you do when you work on knives that you would not believe the amount of time you spent hand sanding. Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that you can strop knives on just cardboard. Like, cardboard is a great strop. I don't know if that's what Mister's talking about, but you can take a box like this and you can strop your knives on cardboard and it works great. So does the edge of your window in your car. So do coffee cups. But cardboard will sharpen right up a knife. Yeah, Pete. Why does that only happen when you start buying nicer custom knives? That's one of those, like, you got to be exclusive clubs that the part I don't like about the knife game. All right, what are we looking at here? Oh, that was the other angle. But yeah, get prepared to do some sanding. Have y'all seen this MOPA fiber laser? I guess it's popped up on everybody's feed last night. But first, I wanted to show this one. Look how cool these knives are. And his logo is awesome too. This is Turkey Run Knife Co. And check out how pretty that stuff is. I love the finish he used. And his turkey foot logo is pretty fire. So turkeyknifeco.com. It's a new one I hadn't known about. Turkey Run Knife Co. Mifflinburg in Pennsylvania, 2018. $350. Beautiful knife. Pry bars. Bottle opener pry bar. Numbered. Tactical Sharpie. Oh, there we go. There's something Mister said. Milwaukee with black tip. Huh. The Sharpie is gutted out and replaced with a G10 rod that obtains a sharpened point. Cap is included. Yeah, Pete. I'm glad Pete's on this and feeling my pain. But I'm sure everybody saw this pop up on their feed. Argus laser has got a new MOPA laser picosecond and it does some craziness to mirror polished stainless steel, and it does it super quick. It's sped up, but that's pretty wild. And that's how those guys are getting all those crazy patterns on blades. And it is real. Argus does make lasers. They make all kinds of lasers. Cutting lasers. All kinds. But now their newest one is this infrared picosecond MOPA. Sure, a bunch of y'all saw that though. County Com just dropped a Tie Sharpie holder. That's a website we don't go to nearly enough. Wait, what is the new? Oh, that's a Vault. Is that what you're talking about, mister? Cigarette Swisher. Oh, that's the knife. The Wesson. Ooh, I don't like that. Why do they got that angle? That's a terrible angle. There's got to be a more flattering angle than this angle. Whoa. He's got it on a transparent background with it cut out. He used AI to remove background. That's pretty wild. It's the first I've seen of that. Yeah, that's the worst angle ever. That one's better, but I mean, why does that knife look like it is a total square? Like this knife looks like that looks like a one burner camping grill. Like, why does that come to such an abrupt right angle? And I hate when I say I don't like a knife and how ugly it is, blah blah blah. I guess in reality, am I offending the person that made this? I don't mean to be offending them, but I guess I just say out loud what other people think without really thinking about it. But I don't know who designed this. I don't know if he's going to take offense to me saying I don't like this blocky square knife. But in all honesty, he probably doesn't care what I think. So that's why I think everybody should just be honest, because those people really don't care. It's probably not going to hurt his feelings. Oh, seeing all these knives reminded me of something else I wanted to mention to y'all. So I got approached last night by a gentleman on Instagram, and he messaged me, and I'm going to show y'all our entire conversation. Can I hide all my other, like, why can't I hide all my other messages? Why does this... I don't necessarily want y'all to know. I don't guess it matters who I've talked to. But anyway, this is the guy's... Oh, there it is. I can show it over here to the side. Alright. This is the guy that reached out to me. His name is Boar.su or Sue Boar. He shows a bunch of Chinese looking knives that look like they were made in the Tucson factory, and a lot of them are sold on AliExpress, I believe, including some of the ones we looked at not long ago. So he evidently looked on my page and saw that I was posting Chinese knives. And I was kind of confused at what Chinese knives he was asking about, or that he saw that I posted. But he has some pretty wild stuff. So I was confused about what he was asking and why he was messaging me. And he hit me with the, or he or she or whoever it is, hit me with the old hi. H-I. And of course, when I just get nothing but hi, I think it's going to be like, check out my webcam site. Anyway, I said hello. Then he said, then they said, hello, friend. I saw you selling Chinese knives. Do you have a partnership with them? And I still don't have any idea what he's talking about, because I don't sell Chinese knives on my Instagram. So here's what I learned. So all these have the 6-leaf thumb stud. So anyway, I said I have a YouTube channel and work with some Chinese companies to promote their brands. So yes, I do have a partnership with some. And then I sent him a link to my channel, and I said, why do you ask? And they said, I saw that you had their knives. And I said, whose knives? And then this is the statement where they told me who they were, basically. And so this is who they are. Guangzhou Yufeng Hardware Factory in China. And they're in Knife City. So he said, we offer custom design and OEM services. Okay? So we got custom design and OEM services. And I put, which brands do you work with? And I think he was answering my question up here when I said, whose knives? He posted a link to my concept. And then I said, QK, question mark. And they said, I've created my own brand and have friends who are in sales. And so then he posted a link to this site, which is a totally different knife maker. It's one of the newer brands from China. And so this is the name of that brand. And the person that makes them is this person. I told him that I was wanting to get a knife OEM'd, and I said I haven't picked one yet, but I'm leaning towards Riot or Bestech. And then he said, can I work for you? High-end manufacturing. And I said, I'll definitely check out your work. And they said, thank you for your inspection. And I said, if y'all send any knives out to review, I would like to review one. And then I said, and then he said, all my knives are custom made, customized by the customers. So then I said, so Verixen isn't your brand, you just OEM them? And they answered with that, question mark. So I'm totally confused by this statement. All my knives are custom made, customized by the customers. There's something lost in translation. But that's what he said. But then he pointed me towards this brand, and this brand sells all those knives that he's promoting on his Instagram page. So, and the name of the company I posted up in the chat above that, which is in Knife City. So that was a weird connection that this person reached out and made. But I think I like the looks of the knives enough to check out and get a price quote. I mean, I don't want these crazy blades, but you could produce me one like this for 70 bucks, because if they're selling it for 148, I don't want that blade still. Produce this knife for 70 bucks with 154 cm or something, and we're good to go. So I don't know, we'll see what happens with that person. I don't usually get reached out to because I post Chinese knives. That's totally weird. And lots of people follow this person. Wicked Dream Design, Sever 7, and 38 more that I'm friends with. Rattlesnake. So evidently it's a real thing. Anyway. Oh, and another update. I got some prices on the Penrose Privateer, and y'all aren't going to like it. He said to OEM these, and I don't think I'm giving away any kind of secrets because he's going to have to price them what he has to price them at. But he said that these knives cost him 60 to 65% more than the Antarita. So, if he had to pay 60% more than the Ontarita, I believe the Ontarita was $229 on White Mountain Knives. And maybe it's a T. Is it a T? Is it Ontarita? T? Ontarita? Oh my goodness. Penrose. Otarita. Good grief. Alright. So the Ontarita was $229. So if we take $229 and we multiply it by 1.6, which is 160%, if it cost him 60% more to make it, then you get a price tag of $366.40. And that is considering that's not actually the price. That would be what he would have to sell it for to make the same profit. So in reality, if he sold that knife for $229 on White Mountain Knives, maybe it cost him $100 to produce the knife that he sold for $229. Or let's just say it cost him $119. Then you would actually need to multiply that 119 times 1.6. Whoops. 119 times 1.6. So his cost for the knife is going to be around $190. So it all depends on how much profit he wants to make off of each knife, considering that he paid $119 for a knife that he sold for $229, which you ought to be able to get better margins than that. It's normally about 3 times what retail price is. So just so y'all know, I've talked to a few guys who have sold some knives. I've mentioned these people. I've got some of their knives, and I've talked cost before, and they usually pay about 35% for their cost of what the knife sells for at the lowest price. So if he sold this knife for $229, if you divide that by 3, that should really be around his cost. He should have been able to produce it for $77 to sell it for $229. But that's best case scenario. So I'd say even if you figured it out, if you figured that he paid $100 for it originally and it cost him 60% more, it's going to cost him $160 to produce that knife. So in reality, if he wants to use the 3 times, he should be charging $480. But it's going to be a pricey knife is what I'm getting at. And he's going to have to price it for what he's got to price it for to make some kind of money. But I just thought I would break that down because, and I don't know who he picked as OEM this time compared to last time, but I like the Ontarita. He was able to sell it for $189 on his site. And he actually gave me a code to buy one for a lot cheaper than that. Oh yeah, Kubey. Okay, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, he tells who made it down here, I think. Yeah, Kubey. I mean, is the new one Riot? It doesn't say who's making it, but I imagine it's somebody like Riot to cost 60% more than Kubey. I haven't mentioned hitting the like button at all this video. We've been going an hour and a half and I haven't hit the like button once. Have y'all? I still got a bunch of links to look at, but I got sidetracked. I liked this render of this knife, and being able to look at it in 3D is pretty cool and something I want to learn how to do well. I don't know what this little roller is on the back of this knife. It's got a little geared, jimped looking thing. I've been really confused today on a bunch of stuff. Nothing new about that though. Uh-oh. I have lost my lighter. That is no bueno. Alright, I got a few more links here. Yeah, one of these is wild. A few of these are wild. Check out this thing. What in the heck is going on with that? Somebody please explain that to me. That confuses me too. What are we working with here? The one in the background, does it have the same kind of head? Oh, it does. It's a dragon head. Okay. Now I got the dragon part figured out. But my God, is that thing big. And what is it made out of? And what are those? And what are those adapter things? Are those to scribe lines on his calipers? Did he make those screw-on caliper? What's going on with that? The caliper add-on thing is throwing me off too. I swear, I'm really confused today. But what material is that? Why is it so big? I've got lots of questions. Was that number 12? Yeah, that was number 12. I've got one for Mr. Mister, specifically. I think it's coming up next. This is a Suburban Amigo in red paisley. And this was a new company that popped up on my feed, which is a CNC guy. And I can dig it. If you start out getting a CNC and all you can do is do some little stuff, do some little stuff. El Burrito. That's a pretty cool looking little knife too. I'd be happy if I could make that. Wow, that looks dangerous. Just a sharp edge. How do you close it up? just got a sharp edge laying around all the time? Or does it fold back on itself? Yeah, I don't think that does anything except expose a sharp edge. I don't like that. That looks scary. Looks like you'd slice your hand all to Kingdom Come if you went to grab it. Oh, it comes with a sheath. Alright. That's better. But man, don't leave that laying around on the table without the sheath. Robin nailed it. Yeah, so what's funny is that that new knife, that new blade shape chart that I showed at Sportsman Warehouse, that was better than the one on NAFs that has all the different blade shapes. It was the first place that I saw in Ulu, and they talked about it, and I haven't gotten that locked into my head that that's what it is. It's the Ulu, or Ulut is a traditional knife, the Inuit peoples of Alaska, Western Russia, and Greenland. But yeah, they have the Ulu. They have all kinds of blade shapes on this page. I've shared it before, but the NAFs page has a bunch of blade shapes, but that one has more. The NAFs blade shape poster only has the top ones there. It's got a few, but the one on Sportsman, this one has a lot more, including the Ulu. Give you that Smith. He is TCNC, if that's what you were asking for. Not sure that's what you're asking for. Here's the one I had for Mr. Mister. And this is pretty sick wrapping on this one. And sick finish. That thing's a beast. Alright, I think I skipped one. This was another one that I ran across, and stingers are ready for cord wrap. And these little stingers look pretty cool too. I've been getting recommended all kinds of new makers that I'm really happy with. Butang Knives, Bantang, proudly made in the USA, West Coast. Don't know anything about him either, but he does nice wrapping. And I'm not sure which one is the stinger, but is that a stinger? That might be the stinger that he showed in the post I saw. It's just got a straight blade, huh? Yeah, I think that is it. Pretty cool little knives. Alright, Mr. Mister. Then I had this one from Alex Custom Knives. Reminds me of some of the mercenary knives and the mirror necks knives. Way too flashy for me, but a lot of people think they're gorgeous. I still wouldn't turn it down to check out, that's for sure. That one's called the Plasma. I love this CKF photo. CKF makes some super clean knives, including that batch. And I like that milling pattern at the bottom, and I love that carbon fiber at the top. And I like the middle milling. Like, all three of those are gorgeous. You have two knives from this guy. Under the Bridge tool and scale. I'm going to follow him. How to order a custom. See, Pete, Plunkett needs to have a page like this. Come on, Plunkett. Give us a website with how to order, how to buy, how much they cost, even a price range. I don't need to know if you're going to auction them off. Give me a range of what the last ones have sold for. Why so secretive? Yeah, these look nice too, Tristan. I like some of the color combos. Some of them are a little too bright for me, but I've talked about the multicolored handles. When they start doing 2 and 3 colors, I'm out most of the time. Although some of them I like. I don't mind something, you know, it's when they use the more bright pastel colors and stuff that throw me off. That one looks gorgeous. Magna cut steel at 65 HRC. Wow. Yeah, that's a super cool knife. UTB number 125 is out the door. But some of these I just can't do. I mean, fit and finish look great. That's for dang sure. Can't see where those connect at all, but... And I picked a bad example because the more you look at that one, the more I like it. Alright, so I do like some of the weird colors. I want to skip a couple links because I want to get to the end, but I wanted to ask y'all what this big wedge is on the back of this knife. Why does it have a shark fin? It's not really a shark fin, but kind of looks like a shark fin. But man, that knife is super sexy. It looks like a rocket ship, kind of like. It's got a different look than other knives I've seen, for sure. Super clean, though. Backspacer fits perfectly in that little area, whatever that area is back there. Who is this? This is, again, Alex Custom Knives. He's the same guy that did this one, which is amazing to me. Oh, I saw him working on this with the carbide tool. I was looking at the stuff sitting beside me here on the couch. I've got a bunch of random stuff that just sits here. And I bought this not long ago. And it's a carbide end mill, even though I don't have a mill. And it's the same kind of bit that he was just using. And I thought I was getting it so it would fit in a Dremel, but the shank on it is too long to go in the, too wide to go in the Dremel. But that's the same kind of bit he was using. And I meant to get the one, I got the wrong size, in other words. I bought a couple of bits though. I've got a bunch of milling bits for whenever I do get a mill. I've got another one over here somewhere, but yeah, here's another one. I got a ball nose end mill, but I got the wrong shank. Yes, y'all can hear the lawnmower guy outside, huh? Yes, Sever, I'll share that post. Let me turn the background noise off. Sorry. Y'all should have said something and I would have fixed the background noise. Was that this post? Yeah. Here you go, Sever. All right, I got a couple more. Finally, Ocaso is going to release the Regis. They've been promoting it forever, and I liked it. You have to pull out and back instead of just back. So it threw me off the first couple of times I was opening it. But I love that forward choil. I like the lock mechanism once you get it figured out. And I like Ocaso. The price tag's going to be like $750 though, so I'll have to wait till I find one on Knife Swap. But they did post that they're about, the Regis and Charter are coming soon. Finally. All right. 3 more links. Some beautiful stabilized spalted guava wood that he's letting soak in linseed oil or something. Vegetable oil. You talk about a nice looking piece of wood. Nice wood. And this is another one. The Solus Blades. DM us for bulk orders of custom knives. We manufacture knives to your exact design specifications and quality requirements. And check out all these that he's got. And that's just a simple little fixed blade. If somebody wanted to buy a batch of those, anybody can make a knife. I'm living proof of that. Yeah, they're going to be like $750 to $800, Sever. I don't know. I want one. I'll probably have to wait till I find one on Knife Swap, though. This one I wanted to see a video of or something because of how it looks. Oh, that's just the handle, huh? I thought that was the sheath. That's a pretty wild looking knife with the Chinese dragon mask, foo dog, or is that a foo dog? I don't know what that is, but it's scary. But I like it. Yeah, it says Oni no food, Demon's Brush. And this is from, oh, here we go. This is probably one of those art knife makers that goes to those New York shows. Well, okay, I want to see more than just that. Oh, it's got different Oni masks on each side. Does he have a sheath for it? All I see is the... He doesn't show a sheath for it yet. Oh, he doesn't have one, I don't think. All right, and the last link I had for the day, was a good one. So not everything that looks like metal is metal. And like I said, anybody that wants to make a knife can make a knife, because this one is made out of wood. But how cool is that? With the shine and the glisten and gloss. So I thought that one was cool to show today too. All right. I've got a surprise knife being delivered today that I have had the hardest time not telling y'all about. It has been driving me nuts. I ordered it 3 days ago, and I've just been counting the days till he got here from North Carolina, because it is one of my all-time grail knives. It's one I've been looking for 2 years. Could not find one anywhere. Finally found one, posted for a kind of crazy price, but it was actually a little cheaper than it cost originally. But I was able to send an offer and get it for even cheaper. And so today, I've got I've got a cool knife coming in the mailbox. And I'm excited for it, because I've been looking for it forever. Anybody that knows me has heard me mention it. I mentioned it on stream a few times. It's nothing special, but it is to me. I think what's funny is a couple of people here saw that this knife was sold, but didn't put together the fact that I bought it. So that'll be fun too. It'll be a surprise for a couple of people that might have seen it being sold. I can't tell you what it is, Sever. I've been waiting 3 days. I've usually been totally transparent about every knife I've bought, every knife I've ordered, every knife I had coming in the mail. I don't ever keep knives from y'all. If I order a knife on Knife Swap, I tell y'all the next morning. But this is one I bought that I didn't tell anybody about. I've already had 3 people that have tried to buy it from me after seeing it posted. And I told them that I wouldn't be getting rid of it. But yeah, 3 people have already messaged me on the post where I bought it, trying to buy it from me. So I guess it's some other people's grail too. Anyway, I'm going to try to not post it on Discord tonight when I get it, and wait till tomorrow morning, but it might pop up on the Discord later. Anyway, I appreciate y'all joining me today. Hope y'all have a great rest of your Wednesday. Great hump day. We will be doing it again tomorrow, same time, same bat time, same bat channel. Anyway, hope y'all have a great day. Mr. Bob, enjoy the beach. I thought I saw something about the beach earlier. Maybe not. Thank you, Mr. Bob. No, it's not the mirror necks. That's not. They're supposed to send me one, Waylon, but I'm not buying that one, and that's not a grail for sure. Mr. Tristan, thank you for joining us this morning, sir. Mr. Whalen, Mr. Bob, Mr. Mitchell, Mr. Sever 7, Mick Ranger. Miss Brown Sugar, have a great day, ma'am. Keep the people in Texas in your thoughts. I heard there was some flooding there. No, Mr. Sever, it's not. But you will like it, Mr. Sever 7. That's 2 guesses. I don't even know what those knives are. I don't know what the ZT0117 is. Is that one of your grails? Oh, that's a Sever 7 knife. What the heck you think I'd like that knife for? You had to be joking with that one. Anyway, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.